Welcome. Let me ask you something. Have you ever meticulously designed the perfect morning routine, chaining together habit after habit, only to have it all fall apart by Wednesday? You know, the one where after your morning meditation, you will immediately do 10 minutes of journaling, and after the journaling, you will do 15 minutes of yoga, and after that, you'll just feel like a complete failure? Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt that frustration, that feeling that a system designed for success somehow set you up to fail. Today, we're going to deconstruct one of the most popular productivity ideas of the last decade, habit stacking. And we're going to explore why, for many of us, it's a beautiful theory that shatters on contact with the real world. The gospel of stacking. The conventional wisdom. You can't have a conversation about self-improvement today without someone bringing up James Clear's mega bestseller, Atomic Habits. At the heart of its practical advice is a beautifully simple concept, originally from B.J. Fogg's work, called habit stacking. The formula is seductive. After current habit, I will new habit. After I brush my teeth, I will floss one tooth. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. After I take off my work shoes, I will change into my gym clothes. The logic is undeniable. You anchor a new, desired behavior to an existing, automatic one. You leverage the brain's existing neural pathways, making the new habit obvious and easy. It's presented as a nearly foolproof system for building a better life, one tiny habit at a time. On paper, it is the epitome of smart, logical, and efficient self-development. It promises a life of seamless momentum, where one good action flows effortlessly into the next, creating a cascade of positive change. But this elegant theory has a dark side. It often ignores the messy, unpredictable, and fundamentally human context in which we live. The inversion. Why your perfect stack is a house of cards. The core problem with habit stacking isn't the theory itself, but its application as a rigid universal law. The popular advice encourages creating chains of habits. The morning routine I mentioned earlier, that's a classic example. Meditate, then journal, then yoga, then drink a liter of water. But what happens when one link in that chain breaks? This is the house of cards effect. Life is not a predictable algorithm. You wake up late one morning, the kids are screaming. You get an urgent email that throws you off course before you even pour your coffee. Your anchor habit, pouring that coffee, still happens, but the mental and emotional space required for the next habit in the stack, meditation, has vanished. When you fail to meditate, the cue for journaling never happens. Because you didn't journal, the cue for yoga is missed. By 8 a.m., your entire perfectly stacked routine has collapsed, and with it, your sense of control and self-efficacy. Instead of feeling productive, you feel defeated. The system, designed to create momentum, has instead created a single point of catastrophic failure. The longer the chain, the more fragile it becomes. A system designed for consistency ironically breeds inconsistency, because one small disruption can derail the entire sequence. Critique theory versus reality. The flaw of nonsense pairings. The second place where the theory of habit stacking breaks down is in the real-world logistics of our lives. The formula, after current habit, I will new habit is clean, but it ignores critical factors like location, energy level, and thematic connection. Productivity gurus love the example. After I brush my teeth, I will do 2 minutes of push-ups. Let's be honest. You're in the bathroom. A small, often damp space. Your energy is low. You're either just waking up or winding down. Is this really the optimal time and place to drop to the floor and exercise? The two habits are completely unrelated in context and energy. This is a nonsense pairing. Brushing your teeth is a low-energy, quiet, hygiene-focused task. Push-ups are a moderate-energy, physical exertion task. To move from one to the other requires a significant mental and physical gear shift. You have to leave the bathroom, find a space, and get into a completely different mindset. That's not a seamless stack. It's a clunky, friction-filled leap. The theory assumes a smooth transition, but the reality is that our brains don't work that way. Effective systems don't fight against our natural state, they flow with it. A more realistic approach would be to stack habits that are thematically or locationally consistent. For example, after I put my dinner plate in the dishwasher, I will wipe down the kitchen counters. Both are in the same location, the kitchen, and are part of the same theme, cleaning up after a meal. The popular version of habit stacking often encourages us to build routines that look good on paper but feel awkward and unnatural in practice, setting us up for failure from the start. Synthesizing a deeper truth, from rigid stacks to flexible systems. So, if rigid habit stacking is a fragile and often illogical system, what's the alternative? The answer isn't to abandon the idea entirely, but to evolve it. We must move from thinking in terms of rigid, linear stacks to creating flexible, context-aware systems. 1. Embrace the menu over the chain. Instead of a fragile chain, A leads to B leads to C, think of a menu of positive habits you can choose from after an anchor. For example, your anchor is still after I pour my morning coffee, but instead of a mandatory meditation session, your menu might include: meditate for 5 minutes, read 1 page of a book, write down 3 things you're grateful for, stretch for 2 minutes. On a calm morning, you might choose meditation. On a chaotic morning, a 2-minute stretch might be all you can manage. This approach preserves the cue of the anchor habit, but provides the flexibility needed to adapt to real life. It replaces the pass-fail system of a rigid stack with a good, better, best model that builds confidence, not guilt. 2. Focus on energy matching. Stop pairing habits that require jarring shifts in energy. If you've just finished a high-intensity workout, high energy, don't try to immediately stack it with silent meditation, low energy. A better stack would be to follow the workout with a cool-down stretch or preparing a protein shake. Match low-energy habits with other low-energy habits. After you sit down to check your email, maybe you tidy 1 thing on your desk. The goal is flow, not force. 3. Build a resilient identity, not a perfect routine. The ultimate failure of the atomic habits philosophy is its subtle overemphasis on the process over the person. We become so obsessed with not breaking the chain that we forget the goal: to become the type of person who is healthy, mindful, or organized. A truly resilient system is identity-based. The question isn't, did I follow my habit stack perfectly, but did I do something today, no matter how small, that aligns with the person I want to be? If you want to be a writer, the goal isn't to perfectly execute a writing stack every morning. The goal is to write. Some days that's 1,000 words, other days it's a single sentence scribbled on a napkin. Both actions reinforce the identity. The deeper truth is that behavior change isn't about building an unbreakable, automated machine. It's about cultivating a resilient relationship with yourself, one that allows for imperfection, adapts to chaos, and prioritizes identity over algorithm. Habit stacking can be a useful tool, but it is a terrible master. So, the next time you hear someone preach the gospel of habit stacking as the ultimate solution, remember this: life is not a tidy sequence of events. Your system for self-improvement shouldn't be a fragile house of cards that collapses with the slightest breeze. It needs to be a flexible, resilient structure that can withstand the storms of real life. It's about progress, not perfection. If this different perspective gave you something valuable to think about, please like this video. It tells the algorithm that challenging conventional wisdom is something people want to see. For more content that deconstructs the self-help advice you've always been told to follow, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share your experience. Have you had a habit stack fail spectacularly? Or have you found a more flexible system that works for you? Let's start a real conversation about what actually works. Finally, Suggest a common quote or an idea for a future video. What piece of conventional wisdom do you want to see us analyze and take apart next? Thank you for watching. Now go build a system that serves you, not the other way around.